Now coming to the another important topic, that is segment override prefix, which we use in 8086 microprocessor. It is basically uh, a prefix which can be added to almost any instruction in any memory related addressing mode. So if any addressing mode we're talking about, if it is memory related, then we can add the prefix to adjust or to allow basically the programmer to have or to deviate from the default segment to any other register, uh, segment register. For example, if we are stick to a stack segment and we want to move to extra segment, then a programmer can change the instruction by slightly or we can say by overriding a prefix to change the default segment from stack to extra or to data or to code segment. So let's see by an example. The segment override prefix is basically additional. It is an additional byte that appears in the beginning of the instruction to select an alternative segment register. So if we want to change the segment register from which the programmer wants to have the data or the code or any other operation related data, then we can change. A programmer can change basically. So for example, mov ax comma bp, that means this is a command, mov ax comma bp, that means the data which is moving to the AX register and the data is available in the memory. The memory address is given by BP, that is base pointer, and as base pointer is associated with the stack segment, the BP is the offset register for the stack segment. See, BP is offset register for stack segment. That means BP, if we are defining the offset register through BP, that means it is by default related to the stack segment. So stack segment will have an offset value from which we'll calculate the physical address of the memory, and from that particular stack segment physical address of the memory, we'll be having the data which is moved to AX. Now, if a programmer wants to get the data from data segment using the same BP as an offset address, then he can slightly change the instruction as mov ax ds colon bp. That means now the programmer wants to change the default segment address from stack segment to data segment. From stack segment to data segment. So from stack segment to data segment, if a programmer want to change to have the address to have the data from stack segment, instead of a stack segment, the programmer wants to have the data from the data segment using the same BP. It can easily change by overriding a prefix. That prefix is basically ds colon bp. That means the address of the memory is available by the base pointer in the form of offset address, and that offset address does not belong to stack segment of the memory, as we have added an extra override prefix in the form of ds colon bp. That means now the data is available in the data segment, not from the stack segment. So this offset address available in this base pointer is now used to calculate the physical address of the data which is available in the data segment, and that data from the address from the data segment is moved to AX. Similarly, if we have mov bx comma es colon bp, that means BP, that means by default stack segment से डेटा आना चाहिए था, लेकिन BP से पहले मैंने क्या लगाया ES. That means now the programmer wants to have the data from extra segment. So the BP will have an offset address which is now pointing to the extra segment, and from that data will be moved to BX register. Similarly, MOV BX comma SS colon DI, that means DI, that means by default it's a data segment, but programmer want to have the data from the stack segment, so we can override prefix by SS. And these are a few examples: construction, default segment, and accessed segment. By default, if the command is move bx comma bp in bracket, that means the data is moving from stack segment. But we want to change, a programmer want to change it from the extra segment, then this override prefix es colon will change the accessed segment as es, because es we have added override prefix. Similarly, mov bx comma di, that means by default the data segment is the default segment, but we want to change it to stack segment, so the accessed segment now is changed to stack segment. Similarly, all other instructions are available. You can visit, you can check one by one and prepare accordingly. Thank you.